Hockey skaters and goalies around the world, welcome back to another edition of the Ride to the Rink. It's Mike Benelli with Lee Elias, and we are joined today by Sean Ellis, who is a vice president of hockey operations for the NHL, and he spends his nights in the NHL situation room, in Toronto. So when you hear them say on the TV, they're going to go up to Toronto to determine a call, this is the person in the room, running the room. Sean, we're really happy to have you with us today. And the question I have for you, for all of the youth athletes listening, and I know there are a lot of them out there, is how should a kid respond when a call is made? Good, bad, indifferent, good goal, bad goal, penalty, offsides, any of it. How do you feel they should respond when that happens on the ice?
Use your emotion. It's okay to be angry with a bad call. It's okay to be happy with a call that goes in your favor. But remember that the responsibility for success on the ice lies within you and not within that, not from that penalty call. So use that emotion, and that you get, that jolt of energy that you get, be it good or bad, use it for good, to drive you forward, to push you forward. You're not playing against the referee, you're playing against that other team. That penalty call goes against you, you kill it off, you move on. There's a bigger picture here, and it's not a missed call or a bad call.
And then follow up to that, you see a lot of these calls. You're instrumental in helping officials determine the call. Maybe talk a little bit about how hard or challenging it is to be an official in the game. Reminding to everybody listening too that linesmen, officials, goals, penalties, offsides, onsides, bench minors. I mean, there's so much they have to look at. How hard is it for them, especially the younger referees out there that may also be listening?
Oh, it's very difficult, and they're as well suited to be in that position and as anybody's going to be. And for us in the situation room, we feel the same about ourselves. We're very experienced, and we are very objective, but it is difficult to make decisions sometimes. And knowing that, much like the referees, every call that you make, every decision you make, half the people are going to hate it, and half the people are going to love it. And you have to be able to learn to live in that area, learn to live with the fact that people are going to be upset with you. They're going to be angry with you. They might take it too far, and they might say some really off-color things. And, you got to learn to just let it be, let that happen, let people have their emotions. It doesn't affect how the referee does his job on the ice. It doesn't affect the decisions that we make in the situation room. We make them based on the facts and the video that we see. So it all comes back to accountability. We hold ourselves accountable, and we are accountable to our general managers, to the owners, to the game as a whole. So again, it's about accountability, and we use the energy of that game, of that play, and our experience. And we're in a neutral location. There's no emotion necessarily from the fans in real time at us, but we know the decisions we make are going to be heavily disliked by a good group of people. But we make the decision and we move on, because there's another decision to be made coming down the pike.
Yeah, Sean, just in that same thought process for a youth hockey player, right? And in the NHL, it's a very close-knit community. Everybody knows who the officials know the players. And I think maybe this isn't directed towards a younger player, like a U9 or 10. It's more the older guys, and girls like the 14, 15 years old. Just, can you talk just a second about, reputational awareness, like how you react to a call? Because when you get in the higher leagues, the leagues get smaller, like the official pool gets smaller. You're probably going to see that official more often than at the youth level. You just talk about, how you can set the table positively and negatively, by your reaction to just one call in a game.
Yeah, sure. The referees don't make calls based off of your character as a person. They're going to call the play that they see, and make a judgment call in that moment based on what they're seeing. But if you can show that official respect, even when you're angry, even when you're upset, the official won't forget that. They remember that. just as they remember the players that fly off the handle at them for every single call that they make. Players make mistakes. You take penalties, and sometimes you might not think you did, but you do, and the referees are calling you on that. There's no player that's always innocent. And if you find yourself in a situation where you always feel like you're being wronged, maybe take a step back and think, okay, I can be angry with this call, but I still have to show respect to that official because I'm going to, Mike, to your point, I'm going to see him or her next game or next year or 5 years down the road. And if you can build a reputation that says, you know what, this kid is respectful. He lets us know when he's upset, but he's respectful about it. You build yourself a good reputation and people want to be around with you. They want to interact with you. And they might come up to you in an intermission and say, hey, you're really close to taking a penalty there. You might want to, be a little bit more careful next time because I'm going to have to call it the next time. He or she might not give you the benefit of the doubt if you're not someone that shows them respect. They don't owe you that explanation, but if you show them that you have high character, they might be willing to go out of their way a little bit to help you out. And so, reputation is very important. But more importantly, you can't let one bad call ruin the game for you. Like, understand that you feel that was a bad call, but now I still have a responsibility as a player to do my job. And my job is to pick up a back checker, is to get to the net, create traffic. It's whatever it is, you still have those responsibilities. Focus on those.
Yeah, Sean, last one for me here. You mentioned the word respect, right? It's respect for your team, for your teammates, for yourself. Can you talk about how respect, especially at the youth level, I'm talking to you kids out there, is a skill that can help you get further down the game than you think it is, right? It's not just about talent. And again, Sean was a captain at a university level. Sean is a tremendous leader, a tremendous person. So he's well qualified to answer this question. Can you talk to the kids about how respect is a skill that needs to be learned and evolved, and it's a big part of helping you get to another level of hockey?
It's incredibly important, and it might be the most important skill that you can develop, because I do think it is something that can be developed. It's not just an innate characteristic. Like, everybody can learn to be respectful. And if you're showing your teammates respect in both good moments and bad, when you're on a winning streak or when you're on a losing streak, you show your teammates respect. You hold them accountable still, but it's how you interact with them. I'm giving them deference, saying, yes, you made a mistake there, but I made a mistake too on this other shift. I don't want it to be held against me. I'm not going to hold it against you. And as you evolve, if you can develop that skill set, that ability to show respect to your teammates, to your coaches, to the officials on the ice, to the locker room attendant, to the Zamboni driver, to whomever, you're going to be looked at as a leader.
Right.
And you're going to be given more responsibility. You're going to be given opportunities to play in important points in a game. It's not to say that, you still have to have the inherent skill to be able to be out on the ice at the time as well. But if you're not somebody that the coaches respect, your teammates respect, they're not going to look at you as a leader.
Right.
And you might not reap the benefits that you deserve. So respect is so key. It's a base thing that everybody needs to have. And then you layer on top of that all the skill and everything else. It's an incredibly important thing. And it's one of the most important lessons I think I learned. I never thought of myself as a leader on a team until I got to college, and my teammates voted unanimously for me to be the captain of the team. I was so honored, and I really never thought my teammates thought of me like that. And when they showed me that, I would have run through a wall for them. I would have done anything for them. I would have done anything for them up to that point. But knowing that they were seeing me that way, it was one of the best feelings I think I've ever experienced to that point in my life. And it's something that I didn't intend on happening. It was just, I want to show people that I play with the respect that they deserve, because I want to get respect too.
I love it, Sean. It just goes to show to everybody listening, especially the kids, that this is part of the game, right? And typically when it comes to captaincy or leadership, it's not that you want the C or you need the C. It's you earn that C, and typically it's done by your peers and the type of person that you are. So, a lot of great takeaways from this one. Obviously, respect that can be learned and evolved like a skill set. But also, I want to reiterate what you said earlier in this episode, that it's okay to feel. It's okay to feel emotions. You don't have to bury them, but you do have to control them so that they don't control you. And if you can get that under containment, if you can get that understanding, it's going to help you a lot, not just on the ice, right? Well beyond hockey. That's something for life as well.
Yeah, for sure it is. It's like I said, is easily the best lesson I think I've ever learned. And it was also the hardest, is controlling my emotion and using that to make me a better player. I, for too long, let it hold me back. I got it stuck in my head, and it was probably the thing that held me back the most, was not being able to use that emotion in the right way. And once I learned that, it was the world opened up to me. Life got better on the ice. I was a better player. I was a better student. I mean, you name it. And the lesson of respect and accountability is not just something that's useful on the ice. It's useful in life. Our hockey careers are only but a short period of our lives. We live the most of our life as ex-hockey players. And it's an important lesson for that period of time in your life. Yeah.
I love it, buddy. Well, all of you hockey players listening to this episode, from all of us, take these lessons, use them now. You don't have to wait till you're older to figure them out. That's one of the reasons we made this show, is that you can figure it out now. But Sean Ellis, I just want to thank you so much for coming on the Ride to the Rink today.
Yeah, I really appreciate you guys having me.
All right, kids, that's going to do it. Go out there and have fun. Enjoy your spring, enjoy your summer, and always remember to skate on. We'll see you on the next episode. We hope you enjoyed this edition of Our Kids Play Hockey. Make sure to like and subscribe right now if you found value wherever you're listening, whether it's a podcast network, a social media network, or our website, ourkidsplayhockey.com. Also, make sure to check out our children's book, When Hockey Stops, at whenhockeystops.com. It's a book that helps children deal with adversity in the game and in life. We're very proud of it. But thanks so much for listening to this edition of Our Kids Play Hockey, and we'll see you on the next episode.